Hello gentle ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ari and I have a TF2 gameplay commentary for you guys. Tonight I will be playing on King of the Hill Lakeside as the Pyro with the degreaser, the reserve shooter and the Postal Pamela, which is a reskin of the extinguisher. Now, for those of you that have followed me, you've realized exactly how much I hate the Pyro, and I'm going to title this video Good Guy Pyro because I've actually learned some new respect and found some new respect for the Pyro with this particular setup, although the secondary weapon is interchangeable. But I really want to talk about the degreaser first and foremost. Now, the degreaser versus the back burner. Why do I prefer the degreaser? Well, first and foremost, that compression air blast costs you 20 rather than 140% more of that. And the importance of the compression air blast is something that I really want to talk about. So the big issue which everyone has with pyros is the fact that most sort of people who don't know how to play pyro will basically use mouse 1 and W and just burn their way through people. And it's kind of, I think, why Valve decided to put in the Phlogistinator, because that really does tailor to those kinds of people, and it stops, complaining to a certain extent, because you have no compression air blast, and it's just meant for those people that enjoy, like, sort of tanking without the slowness of the heavy, for example. But what I found is that sort of people who are experienced pyros, they use the air blast. They used, in conjunction with it, the reserve shooter, and they used the extinguisher of the Postal Pamela. Don't get me wrong, I think there is nothing wrong with using mouse 1 and W. However, using it sparingly or using it in the right situations, I think that's what makes a good guy pyro. So let's talk about the degreaser first and foremost. So obviously you have your normal flamethrower, and then you have your secondary, which is your compression air blast. As stated before, it costs 20 of your ammo, and this is what I use it for. I use it in conjunction with the reserve shooter, for example, to blow people in the air, and then you get a mini crits on airborne enemies for 3 seconds when you switch your weapon out to the reserve shooter. Now, why would you be using this? Well, it's good for blowing people off the point, for example. If people are looking to cap the point, especially on King of the Hill, it's so useful to do that. It's also useful to throw people off cliffs. If you can actually air blast people off edges. I also prefer to then switch and shoot them once, because that usually confuses people and kind of throws them off their game. But regardless, it's a good way of dealing with people. Also, it is a good way of reflecting certain projectiles. So soldiers and demo men who have this ability to just spam grenades at you or spam rockets at you, it's easily dealable with a compression air blast. So all you do is you wait for it to get close enough, especially the slow moving rockets. I think the faster moving rockets may be a bit more difficult, especially if you're playing on a high ping server. But regardless, if you can nail that compression air blast correctly, you can do a mad amount of damage. And I think on this video, I actually managed to get a double. I get 2 single kills using the reflect button. And not only that, but everybody has this issue where you come across a demo man, and that demo man will panic, and at point blank range, he will shoot you with the grenade launcher. Well, if you know that's going to happen, just have your right click handy, and as soon as you think you're getting close, hit it, because if he doesn't shoot, you blow him back out of range. So he's going to find it difficult to hit you. You can then pull the reserve shooter and shoot him, and if he does shoot you at that close range, he's going to take a crap ton more damage than you do. So the reserve shooter has this sort of limitation of a 50% clip. Now, as a person who's put in, I think, about 600 or 700 kills with his black box, I actually am fully able to cope with the lack of ammo and being able to really conserve your ammo and use it correctly. I think that's the biggest problem people find with the reserve shooter. Those 3 shots, especially with a shotgun, you'll tend to just spam it as soon as you hit, and I am guilty of this. I am fully aware that I am guilty of somebody who basically panics as soon as I air blast people, and then I switch around and then I start to shoot, and that causes a lot of trouble. The other reason for the compression air blast, actually, which I use, is spy identification, especially when it comes to points. Again, there's a lot surrounding the point, here, and what you want to do is when you compression air blast teammates, nothing happens. the only thing you can do when you compression air blast a teammate is put him out when he's on fire, and that is a very good thing. You must do that. If teammates are on fire, everybody's been at that stage where you're running for the med pack, your health is running down, your foot touches that health pack and it doesn't get it, and all you see is your body collapsing over the med kit, and you're just like, I had that was mine, and then it's infuriating. Everybody's had it, and most of the time that happens with Afterburn as well, and it's just like, the guy's already dead, I killed him, I put a shotgun in his face, and I now die because of him. So please, if you do, blow out your teammates, that's a huge deal. But if you air blast a spy who is cloaked on your team, he actually gets knocked back. Now think about this, if someone who's playing spy who doesn't realize exactly what's happening, he sees himself flying in the air and has no idea what you've just done, that is basically an open kill. And if you want to make things worse, you can just juggle him about and just keep spraying and then switch to the reserve shooter, get under him, so you're guaranteed to get like a direct hit with all your pellets. So last but not least is the Postal Pamela. It's a reskin of the extinguisher. What you want to do is, this is why I said that I have no issue with mouse 1 and W, because once you set people on fire, especially if you do this from behind, if you don't have the degreaser, if you don't have, the back burner, what you want to do is you want to switch to your Postal Pamela, and you just want to go to town on people. In close spaces where you don't want to just keep spamming and you want to risk yourself getting killed, get out the Postal Pamela, one hit crit, and you will kill people. Heavies are a big issue. Obviously with the minigun you're knocked back. So what I'd say is try and sort of spray them from behind, and before they realize where you are and they see themselves on fire, just switch out to the Postal Pamela, a couple of hits, and you should get a kill on them. But anyway guys, that's going to be all from me. I hope you enjoyed. Take care of yourselves, and this is Ari, over and out.